Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to this very special edition of the Main Event Talk right here on YouTube. It is Sunday, November 6th, I think. Yeah. Sunday, November 6th. It is a beautiful day out here in Corpus Christi, Texas. The Main Event got a chance to get up a little early today and check out the Dallas Cowboy game that took place over in London, England, as they took on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the score was 31-17. And man, I knew the Cowboys were going to somehow pull that shit off, and bam! Once again, the Cowboys are right now at 7-3 right now, so they're doing very, very well for themselves and everything else like that. I had a chance to look at the, I think it was a tie game between the New Orleans Saints and the San Francisco 49ers. I do not know how that concluded because it was 24-24 overtime. But man, I mean, I have never seen so many penalties. I have never seen so many bad calls on that game and everything else like that. Oh, it was ridiculous. But nonetheless, it is Sunday, and man, this is just a beautiful day right now. It's a little bit cold, not too bad, and everything else like that. One of those days where you just want to take your car out for a drive, take it for a wash, and then just drive along Ocean Drive and just feel the breeze coming in and everything else like that. Now, there's a lot of things we need to talk about. Speaking of England, you know that WWE RAW is going to be over in London, England. And no doubt there's a lot of things I want to talk about, including the surprise appearance of the chairman of the board of World Wrestling Entertainment, the return of Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. I got a lot I want to talk about that, including Survivor Series as well. Plus, you guys know about the whole story involving this, November. As you know, the entire month of November is free. The WWE Network is free. Survivor Series is free. So if you guys have already subscribed, I haven't done it yet. And there's kind of a reason why I haven't done it yet, because I was kind of hoping that I would just come right in and not have to, pay a credit card or pay a debit of any kind. I was just hoping I would just register, get right in, and just go right through, kind of like what I did with my free trial subscription to WWE Network. Just get it done, get it rolling, and then that's it. But I guess after November, after the whole thing's over, the whole thing is back to the $9.99 term and everything else like that. So, well, let's go right into it. Let's go right into the whole thing that I talked about on my last episode of the Main Event Talk. You heard of the November free episode where I mentioned the whole thing about Survivor Series and talking about how Team Authority goes against Team Cena and how it's going to have to be just a little bit bigger, not just the fact that it's Team Cena versus Team Authority. And it just seems that it's funny that somehow, for some odd feeling, something was in the air that everybody was not expecting. Everyone's been, had been getting all of these unexpected surprises. Like, for instance, a couple of weeks ago over in Brooklyn, the surprise appearance of the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment, the People's Champion, The Rock, show up and, confronting face-to-face with Rusev. That was interesting. And then the whole thing with Mick Foley, the whole confrontation between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose a couple of weeks ago, and the appearance of Mick Foley pretty much coming in to visit an old friend, and he's talking about the Hell in a Cell structure, where he's been in many matches with The Undertaker, and that's where his career ended at the hands of Triple H in 2000 of No Way Out. Now, all of a sudden, another big appearance would happen. And who would appear? None other than the man that appeared a couple of weeks ago, I think last week actually, on Friday Night SmackDown to make the announcement that in the beginning of November that the WWE Network and Survivor Series would be for free. The chairman of the board of World Wrestling Entertainment, Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon, made his appearance. And right away, when I saw Vince McMahon come out with the Authority, I knew, and I think a lot of fans knew, something big was up. And here's how big it is. I said on the last episode that if something big has to occur, there's got to be something on the line. There's got to be something that's going to be worth watching for Survivor Series to be free, for everyone wanting to subscribe. And Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon does what he does best every time. Whenever the boss, the boss, not Triple H and Stephanie, the boss, when he shows up, big things happen. And sure enough, Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon did not disappoint anybody, did he? Now, let me get into this a little bit, because I'm going to kind of give you my little scenario about how all this is coming about, okay? Now, you know the announcement that Mr. McMahon made. The announcement was that he made it big, he raised the stakes, if you will, and he went ahead and said that if Team Authority loses, they will no longer be in power. And right away, I knew straight up that that was going to be the plan. That was going to be the idea, you know, because the whole thing, and this is what is coming from me right now. This is not coming from no, people that talk about it on the internet, and people talk about it on Twitter and Facebook and all that other stuff. I'm talking about the fact that it's been almost a year since this whole crazy thing with the Authority started. All started at SummerSlam of last year, when Daniel Bryan got screwed out of the WWE Championship, loses the championship to Randy Orton, wins the title from John Cena, then loses it to Randy Orton thanks to Triple H. And ever since then, it's pretty much been the same crap over and over and over again. The Authority has tried everything in their power to make sure that they're in power and make sure that the WWE Championship stays with them. And they pretty much lost the championship on a few occasions. Of course, Daniel Bryan, he won the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30. Then he loses it because of injury. And then the WWE Championship goes right to John Cena. And that's no shocker to anybody. And then loses it to Brock Lesnar in the most lopsided deal in the history of WWE and in the history of WWE SummerSlam, for Brock Lesnar to beat John Cena. Now, here's the thing. The Authority may think in their minds that they run the show. They think in their minds they run the show. Let's be honest. Despite the fact that, Team Authority has, pretty much run things, no matter what. I've seen this. I've said this many times before on Facebook and on Twitter. It doesn't matter if the Authority is in charge, or if Eric Bischoff was in charge, or if Theodore R. Long is in charge, or Vicky Guerrero, any of these crazy Authority figures that try to run Raw, that try to think that they can run the show no matter what. At the end of the day, the place is still owned by Vince McMahon. Mr. Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Is it just me, or have I mentioned Vincent Kennedy McMahon's name about many times in this show? The bottom line is, something needs to change. And we all know it, okay? Because I said something big needs to happen. This is how it's going to go. If Team Authority loses, they lose power, and then that means either a new general manager or a new Authority figure has to take over, either for both Raw and SmackDown. And that's just, I saw it coming a mile away, and I know some of you guys have probably saw it coming a mile away. But, I think, let me see the complexity of what Team Authority has got. They got Seth Rollins, Kane, I believe Mark Henry's involved, and I think Rusev is a part of that team as well. There's supposed to be a fifth member in that team soon. Hopefully we'll find out this Monday night as WWE RAW heads to London, England, and the main event, cannot wait for that, tomorrow night on Raw. John Cena so far all he has is Dolph Ziggler. Now that's, see that, right? Dolph Ziggler being a part of Team Cena, I'm sorry. To me, I'm glad he's in it, because it's time for Dolph Ziggler to really step his game up. I mean, he's stepped his game up for a long, long time. But I think we need to see a little bit more of Dolph Ziggler in more main event matches. Because here's the thing. He's been there for a long time. He's been a World Heavyweight Champion. He's been a Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental U.S. Champion. It's time for him to be a part of something huge. And he is becoming a part of something huge. Now, the fifth member of the Authority was supposed to have been Randy Orton, but a blind man can see this coming a mile away. Do you really expect, here's Triple H on the phone trying to call Randy Orton, making a text message to bring Randy Orton into Team Authority. Now, if I was running a team, and if I was going to go up against, say, Team Cena, right, I'm going to put the best guys I have, but I want them all to be in the same page, the same goal, the same mentality. That is how it goes. But if you're going to go ahead and bring some wild dog into your team, and he's going to go ahead and attack one of the members, that is not exactly cool. But Randy Orton, hey, He tried to call Randy Orton. Randy Orton interferes in Seth Rollins and the whole thing with Dolph Ziggler. Out of nowhere, RKO, bam, that's it. You're done. And speaking of done, as you know, Randy Orton suffered an injury at the very, very end of Monday Night Raw, and Randy Orton's going to be out for a while, which doesn't surprise me because if you think about this really, 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 really clear, Randy Orton's out, right? And supposedly he's doing a movie during that entire time, so I can understand why he had to leave. But everybody has already made their prediction that at Survivor Series, I have this strange feeling that Randy Orton's going to be a part. He's not going to be a part of Team Cena. I know that if he does, that would be a huge surprise to me. But if Randy Orton shows up at Survivor Series, he's not going to be a part of any team. He's going to find a way to screw the Authority over. And that's what he wants to do. And whether Seth Rollins likes it or not, his days are coming. And yes, he may have had a fair victory over Randy Orton. It was a fair victory. Seth Rollins did beat Randy Orton in the middle of the ring, and he got pissed, and all Randy Orton wants to do is RKO the living shit out of Seth Rollins until the future is done. But unfortunately for Randy, he's done for now. And it won't be a surprise if Randy Orton messes everything up for the Authority and Team Cena wins at Survivor Series. That's my opinion, that's my thought, that's how it goes. Boom. That's how I see things. Now, let me see. Speaking of, let's see, we talked about SmackDown. You guys have probably already heard about the announcement. Now, several weeks ago, everyone has made such a big deal about the fact that WWE SmackDown is coming on Friday nights, and that was supposed to happen around October 5th, 15th, something like that. And the first thing I said was, are you kidding me? Are you out of your fucking mind? Can you leave that alone, please? Sure enough, they left it alone. I said to myself, it's a smart move. I hope they don't do that ever again. And then the announcement comes in, January 15th of 2015. WWE SmackDown is coming back to Thursday nights. Oh, shit. Really? I really like getting up, going to work, doing what I can, coming home, getting dressed on a Friday, and then watching SmackDown afterwards. Because at least when I'm at home watching Friday Night SmackDown, I can relax and have myself a beer and watch the whole thing. And then after 9 o'clock, that's what happens because it starts around 7, ends at 9 o'clock for me, and then I go ahead and go out and do the usual hell-raising deal where I go over to Theo's, take a few shots of fucking Jaeger, take a few, drink some beer, and then go to whatever place I go to in Corpus Christi, go home, pass out, and then if I feel a need to watch a WWE DVD, I will, because I got a whole herd inside my house. That's the truth. That's how I do things, okay? But anyways, Friday Night SmackDown being moved back to Thursdays, I still think it's a bad idea, because let me explain why. Thursday nights has always been, it's been NXT pretty much all the time. The big question remains is, how are they going to put NXT and SmackDown and put it on the same pile? You can't do that. You can't do that unless they choose to move it to 8 o'clock all the way to 10, because then that would make sense, because you would put NXT at 7 o'clock for 1 hour and then start SmackDown at 8 o'clock and then go forward after that. That's it. That works out. Because if you put NXT with SmackDown at 7 o'clock at the same time, bad idea. Okay, not gonna work. All right. It's like putting WWE RAW against Impact Wrestling on a Monday night. You can't do that. It is wrong. It is stupid. You need to be shot in the head with a fucking shotgun. That's how it goes. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens on January 15, 2015, and see how this whole thing with SmackDown coming back to Thursday nights happens. Okay? We'll see how this rolls. Now,